The broadcast is live. I like it when they say that. What's up, everybody? It's Bryson, your internet radio friend. You can find me on some of everybody's platform right about now. We Radio, be in the mix, Sweet Spot Media, um, and then just independently at the original Bryson, where you are right now. What's up, everybody? She is that girl. You know, they got to make these words bigger on Instagram. I'm just going to be real, real. They got to make them bigger on Instagram because I'm struggling. What's up, Cortez? I did get your message earlier. I appreciate you even more. Good evening. She's that girl, ID. What's going on? Um, we're waiting for a couple of people to chime in. We're on Instagram Live and we're also on StreamYard. I want to make sure everything is proper before I introduce my very special guest. But I don't know. They say after you come to the house a couple times, you're not a guest anymore. So you're definitely not a guest in my house. You are more than welcome at any good time. And I'm gonna bring her on right now if I can. Well, what's up, lady? I see you. What's up, Birdie?
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
Can
We
you
got
see me?
Angel Simmons in the building. I cannot. I cannot. You
Mm-mm. You told me. You ain't say I had to do nothing.
you got to have your camera on, but you got to face it the other way.
Lord.
Verity, what's up, cousin? Thank you for tuning in. What's going on, everybody? Angie, what's up, cousin? Good morning.
How's that?
Good, 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 good. So y'all know social media and all this crazy stuff is trial and error. So sometimes
Hey,
you just
Herbert.
gotta get it together.
Herbert.
Hey, Herbert, I see him. Nia, what's up? That's my favorite little cousin right there. Don't you tell the rest, Nia. Don't you tell the rest. So we got the incomparable Angel Simmons in the building. You guys have seen her with me. Angel, you actually are probably the person I've interviewed the most, um, which is definitely a pleasure for me. Oh, don't do it. Oh God, I cannot with you today.
I can't
I
imagine anyone has been interviewed more than our friend.
with me,
Yes.
it's you.
Uh, uh,
It's you. Now
uh,
he's up there. He's up there in the ranking is probably you, Leander, and probably Chris Michael. What's up, Lisa, Miss Radio Producer
now that I
Extraordinaire?
believe, because Chris Michael is famous. All my friends famous.
All my friends are famous. All my friends are famous. So we got Angel Simmons, founder of the Message Inc., author, uh, grief and loss coach. Um, she's like the queen of Chicago. She has so many titles now. I've run out of what to say because there is no lump sum that you can do for her to accurately describe who she is.
Stop.
So
Stop it.
big
Stop.
facts, big facts. So welcome once again. Again, you are no longer a guest. You was only a guest for 5 minutes the first time, but this is family. I'm always glad to be able to connect with family and to talk about real issues, real concerns. There's never a conversation that me and Angel have. We definitely laugh in every conversation, but there's never a conversation where we don't address some real life issues as well. So we'll get that laugh in, and then we'll get our brain waves going, and then we may even get another laugh in before the conversation is over. but she definitely provides that balance for me as a friend, as a professional, and even as a mentor. So it's always good to chit chat, rapid chat. How are you, ma'am?
Rapid chat. I am
Rapid
good.
chat.
I'm good today. Good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Always, always. So we want to talk about something that's very near and dear to your heart. Um, it's always been something that I've always thought about or had a concern about, but definitely being around you and working with you more. And I think just work professional experience as the years have gone by is something that you know I don't. I guess I say grow have developed more interest in talking about and discussing and bringing to the forefront because it really matters.
Mhm.
Um, and Angel, if you want to go ahead and break down what this month is, what it's concerning, and then even tell the people a little bit about what you have to do with that.
Okay. Well, today is World Suicide Prevention Day, September 10th. September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and this is National Suicide Prevention Week. So it's a lot going on right now. I've been working in suicide prevention since 2014. That's 2014. So it's been 6 years that I've been doing this work. I work with a number of organizations as an advocate for them, as an ambassador for them, and just working in grief and loss in general. It has put me in front of a lot of people that need help, a lot of people that struggle, either with suicide ideation or with mental illness, depression, substance abuse that contributes to
Hmm.
suicide ideation. So I've been doing this work for the last 6 years. That's it.
And kudos to you for the efforts that and y'all know she ain't really tell the whole story. But kudos to you and the efforts that you and the energy and the time and the emotions that you put into this on a regular basis. You know, usually during the year, a few times a year, she hosts a poetry set, a spoken word set, um, an event called Versus Vibes and Vision, and it's all for suicide prevention and awareness. And her story is much more lengthy than the 30 seconds that she just gave you guys. But right now we definitely want to talk about suicide awareness, suicide prevention, and we call this the lifeline because you need one. Everybody needs one. We have this stigma in the black community that you know we can't we can't not be okay. We always got to be okay, or I'm gonna work it out, or it's all good, or whatever. We're always gonna be okay, and I think that we have just been molded into a people who maybe been maybe it's been forced upon us over the years because talk about many dangers, toils, and snares that our folks have been through, and we got big shoulders and we carry a whole
Mhm.
bunch of weight. And I think we've just become accustomed to, well, it'll be okay. Or, you might talk about it with your best cousin or your best friend, but don't you dare, act like you got some problems, or Pookie and them always been like that. Uncle Junebug always been a little different, and we chalk it up to just what we're used to versus maybe the mental health concerns or things of that nature that we just kind of have an issue addressing in the community. Go get you
Mhm.
some couch time. Do you understand? If you need some
Listen,
couch time, go get you some couch time and don't be playing.
look, my motto is God plus therapy.
That's a
You
win.
need both.
That's a
You
win
need
right there.
you need both. And
That's a win. What's
a
up,
lot
baby?
of us black folk, minority folk in the church community, we've been taught to pray about everything and it's just supposed to magically disappear. Um,
Hmm.
it's only in recent years that we are talking about counseling and therapy as necessary
Hmm.
agents for our healing and our well-being because we had pastors that were breaking down and suicidal and dealing with mental illness. And now we got to talk about the congregation the same way. So God plus therapy, yeah, that's the new thing. It ain't just pray about it.
Nah, it ain't just. I mean, faith without works is dead anyway. So,
That's
people,
the work. That's the work.
and that's the work. Period. That's the work. That is the work. You have to put action into it. Praying about it is great, but if the Almighty, whoever you choose to believe in, is providing a resource for you, hello, somebody,
That's gonna come out of the prayer. Where to go next?
where to
Don't stop.
go next? Don't
Don't
stop.
stop there.
So, that's definitely real. So I found some things, to be very interesting, especially during, these unprecedented times. How many times do we hear that phrase? These
Mhm.
unprecedented times, these trying times, obviously during COVID, during this pandemic. Um, and I guess the question is, to you, um, is the pandemic sparking? Is it increasing suicide? Have our numbers gone up? What is this really doing, for the
Absolutely.
black community? Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's been in the news since the spring, since the probably the a month into the lockdown that
Mhm.
suicide rates have increased.
Mhm.
Depression rates have increased. Substance abuse has increased because people are at home and not um, attached to other people. They're not
Mhm.
connected. And if you're just at home by yourself, drinking and smoking, or wallowing in your issues and not talking about them, not going out, not going to therapy, not going to counseling, not even hanging out with people that love you and would be your support system, then yeah, it's going to take a toll on your mental health. And that's exactly what happened. People in isolation don't do well in general.
Mhm.
People in isolation due to a pandemic and a world crisis. This is stress like no other time that our generation has seen for sure. And most of these numbers that are increasing are the young adults because we are a
Mhm.
very social, is it social or sociable? We're a very social generation. And not being able to connect with people was a big issue. Was a big issue for people.
Keep going. Don't mind me in these chords.
Yeah, but that is one of the reasons why the rates have spiked, and they have not stopped spiking, even though some places have opened, and it's a few months later. We're in different phases. These rates have not stopped
Mhm.
spiking.
And I was speaking with a friend, I think just a few days ago, or maybe about a week or so ago, and she was telling me, she was like, man, I because we really hadn't been in communication a whole big bunch, but um she was like, this COVID almost took me out. She said, what enhanced my anxiety,
Mm,
tremendously. I was stressed, dealing with stress, that she typically would be able to have a handle on, you know. And she was just like, it was bolting me down, it was burying me down. She was like, because she's a giver at heart, but she, at this point we were all stuck. We couldn't
mhm,
give, we couldn't do anything, and we were, mandated to be at home, at least for a certain amount of time, or mandated to not, be able to interact like we typically do. And she said that was a huge struggle for her. She had to, go to the doctor, and she had to increase her anxiety medication.
Mm.
Um, it's real out there for people, and I know I read too that even after the George Floyd situation,
Mm.
took off running. Um, Arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. I just want to say that right
Still,
now.
still waiting.
Still, still, arrest the cops who killed Breonna Taylor. Um, I know after the George Floyd situation, people were shook in like the worst way. So it's like we're dealing with the pandemic already. So we're not working. We can't see our folks, our family, our friends like we want to. And then all we have at this point is the news and social media. And we watch a man, a black man, a nonviolent black man get murdered literally right before our eyes. I came front, that nearly took me out. That nearly took me out. I was in a place where it was busted up. It was just busted up. And times like this makes you think about your mortality, your worth.
Mm.
Um, it has you thinking about your life in general, what you could do better, what you should have did, what you didn't do, because everything is placed. Your whole life is literally placed in front of you, and then we, have to witness, situations such as, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. I don't even want to get started listing names because
Right.
unfortunately the list goes on and on. So I read that by the evidence is stronger when it comes to the impact of economic hardship. Suicide rates in the US have risen steadily since 2000 by 35% overall across most age groups, but the rate of increase roughly doubled in the wake of the 2008 downturn. You guys remember
Mm-hmm.
2008 when we had the what do you call it, the recession.
Yes.
Historically, the job losses, evictions, and displacements caused by recessions tend to lead to an increased number of suicides.
Absolutely.
Um, they
Absolutely.
have not addressed recession per se yet, but you can't tell me that it's not happening.
No, it's
With all the
absolutely
stores
happening.
and yeah, with all the businesses, yeah,
Listen,
shutting down, going everything.
I went specifically looking for, and this is a testament to my fatness, but I was looking for
I
a
really thought you was gonna say your
specific,
faith, right?
no, fatness. There's a specific black owned sweet potato pie shop in Beverly that I went looking for pie yesterday
Hmm.
and was unfortunately met with paper on the windows. And it
Ah,
never dawned on me to check before I went to see if
right.
they were still open. There are so many businesses that were forced to shut down this year just because of the pandemic. Suicide has always been linked to hopelessness. When you
Okay.
get a community of people who have been primarily affected by job loss, low income, the state of the neighborhood that nobody, takes any care of, it leaves people in a state of hopelessness. That is a ever turning cycle if they don't get out. If they're not able to get out, if the community is not brought up to standards, if nobody ever moves, they're just there. We have a way of accepting what is, and I think even as a people minorities, we have a way of accepting what is because we've been in it so long. We see it. That's what we grew up in. It looks like
Mhm.
it's always looked. We don't expect
Mhm.
anything different. That's part of
Mhm.
hopelessness. When you're not expecting anything different, you never see change, and you don't see greater. You don't get a chance to get a glimpse of better in your situation. I want to go back just a second. You were talking about your friend, and you said something about during the pandemic she wasn't able to get a handle on her anxiety the way she, usually could. And my question is, as a professional, my question would be, did did she ever have a handle on it, or was she just distracted by something else? I think for a lot of people who struggle with anxiety and depression, they are often distracted by work, by family, by
Oh
church, by
yeah.
service,
Hmm.
by community, by friends. They never really had a handle on their mental illness if they weren't seeking professional help, if they weren't, actively in therapy or counseling. A lot of people don't. They don't have that handle. We're so used to being distracted. And one of the things that the pandemic did was take away those distractions. When you
Every last one.
when you
Every
are
last one.
left when you are left with your thoughts, Jesus help me. Your thoughts, when that's all you can hear is the silence of the craziness going on in your brain, and I use that term not um,
Sure, sure.
you know how I'm using the term, but your thoughts, if you left with just what you're dealing with, just what's in your head, just your issues, just your struggles, just your problems, just what's happening right now in your life, that is a terrible position to be in when you don't have
And
an
if you
out.
live alone, Jack, oh my God.
And that was a lot when I was talking about the isolation. I was specifically thinking about singles because a lot of those rates that increased in suicide, they were singles. If
Hmm.
you're in a house with your family, it's much different than when you
Hmm.
live alone and it's just you. I live
Hmm.
alone, it's just me. However, you know a little about me, and you know how I have to protect my energy, because I tend to absorb everything. The pandemic for me was glorious. In terms of isolation, because I didn't have to be anywhere. I didn't have to help anybody. I didn't have to, show up. I didn't have to run and, go save the world. I didn't have to save nobody during that time. I was at
Right.
home. I was
Right.
working from home, and I was blessed to be able to. I have been blessed to work from home, but I was also enjoying my time with
Right.
just me, and not
Right.
having the responsibility of saving everybody else. So for some people, it was a huge challenge. For others, if you follow my page, you know I was cooking every every 3 4 days. I was I was baking
And
everything I could, trying
and
to
let me
learn.
tell y'all something. She say she my friend, but I ain't got nobody's plate. I ain't got nobody's dish. I ain't got nobody's treat. I'm just saying. I'm over here. I'm
We're
still
gonna fix,
waiting.
we're gonna fix that. We're gonna fix
Okay.
that. But for me, it was different. It was a much different experience from for a lot of people. I was able to catch up on everything I had been saving on my DVR because I was working and coming in the house
Right.
at 8 o'clock, after 8 o'clock every night. Because it's like really left the house at 10, come in at 8, go to bed. It wasn't. I didn't have time to do a lot of stuff. So that break in the routine of having to be busy and having to
Hmm.
go and run and do, it was a breath of air for a lot of people. It was a breath of air for the animals. You saw across the world, birds were flying, the swans was
For
coming
the
out.
ozone, right?
Look, the
Yeah,
water
yeah.
was clearing up, the sky was blue. They were glad to be rid of humans out in nature.
No
So
lie.
it was a nice breather for a lot of people, but for those who were in isolation or those who were dealing with anxiety and depression and substance abuse, or living at home with an abuser,
Hmm.
living in domestic
Talk about
violence.
that part. Talk
You if
about that part.
if you were in a house with your abuser, or a child in the house with their molester, and school and church and community service was their only way out, and now they can't. God
Man,
help. God help them. So
that just
everybody
that
had
just gave me chills.
a very different experience for a lot of people. But for those who couldn't get out, couldn't get help, had no hope, had no income, had no people around them, yeah, suicide rates went up.
Hmm.
And I would not be
Hmm.
surprised to see if Illinois bumps up in 2021. Right now, suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in Illinois. When I first started this work, it was 11,
Mhm.
which means it has gotten worse in the last 6 years. So it's the 10th leading cause of death now. For
Mhm.
adolescents, 10 to 14, it's the second leading cause of death. For young adults, 15 to 20, it's the third leading cause of death. For my age group, 35 to 44, it's the fourth leading cause of death. Why are we not talking about this more? That has been my question since the beginning of my advocacy work. Why are we not talking about this more? Second, third, and fourth leading cause of death in Illinois, but we treat it like it doesn't exist. We don't talk about it, and a lot of times we don't talk about it. Um, this is my petty coming out. A lot of times we don't talk about it for insurance purposes. We're not going to discuss it in the family because you can't put suicide on your death certificate and expect
Right,
to
and
get
get them
payout.
coins.
So
Right.
even families won't be discussing what really happened to Uncle John, who's been living in the back room for the last 20 years and all of a sudden he ain't there no more.
Mhm.
Families are not discussing suicide. A lot of the reasons because they don't want everybody to know it's part of the stigma and people being embarrassed by it, but it's also so they can keep their money. And I'm gonna sip my tea.
Which is, yeah,
That's a whole nother
you
conversation.
sacrifice you. It is. It really is. It really is. You sacrifice your soul. You sacrifice your legacy. You sacrifice your lineage. You know, for a few pieces of change. And I just think that has to change for us. That has to change.
Mhm.
That change has to change. In order to benefit our community as a whole. You know what? I'm gonna be real random right now. I want to shout out Brenda White. She's an awesome, 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 awesome therapist and coach. And I had the opportunity to spend some time with her just on the couch. You know, alleviating because sometimes you take on, and I think especially as we get older, we take on the burdens of others. We might be that counselor. We might be that person who listens. We might
Mhm.
do this for a living. This might be our professional, whatever, what have you. But we ended up becoming absorbed by other people's burdens. And if you don't have
Mhm.
a release, because I was at a point in my life that I had never seen, I saw the character in me changing that had never been. And this was a few years back. So I'm grateful for grace, no lie. Um,
Mhm.
and then I just realized I hit this bump in the road, and it just kind of smacked me in the face. And I was like, you need to get some of this stuff off your chest. It's okay if they talk
Mhm.
about you. You don't need them. They can talk about their mama. Um, but you got to get this off your chest. And I made one of the best decisions of my life uh, in going to do that. So she's probably not on here, but maybe this will get back to her because we never know.
Shout out to
Brenda White.
Brenda for helping my
Brenda White,
friend.
if you need information, inbox me. It will remain private. If you need information, inbox Angel. It will remain private. The only time it won't
Absolutely.
remain private is if that we're in fear of your immediate safety or the people that
Ab-
surround you. That's the only
Absolutely.
time it won't remain private. You might
Suicide
be
is
pissed
not
in
a
the beginning.
secret.
It is
Can
not.
never be a secret. Can never be a
It is
secret.
not.
And if someone ever reaches out and says that they're suicidal, they're thinking about taking their life, they don't want to live anymore, that's not a secret you can keep. You need to find their support people. You need to make sure somebody else knows that. Because if they're telling you, they want somebody to know. And they want more than you to know.
Can you give that information real quick about at least on Facebook, there's that
Yeah,
emergency button.
absolutely. If you are well versed in Messenger, there's a little eye for information to go in. It opens up another screen where you can see pictures and things you sent to other people. But there's a panic button. It doesn't say panic button, but it asks you, is there something wrong, or is there a problem or something? When you click that button, and it's been upgraded over a couple of years, so I'm not sure what exactly it says now, but it's along the lines of if someone needs help, if this person is in trouble, and it asks you drop down if they're at risk for harming themselves, if they're a danger to themselves, if they're it asks those
It's very
questions.
specific. Yeah.
It is very specific. And if you see someone or someone messages you and they're talking about taking their life or saying they don't want to be here anymore, they don't want to live anymore, they can't handle it, they can't do this no more. It's a lot of ways they say it. You can go in your messenger, you can hit that button. It's anonymous, nobody knows that, but Facebook has a way of contacting the people that they are closest to. So Facebook, based on their algorithms, they know who's more in contact with Bryson. They know Bryson talks to so and so and so and so 10 times a week. That'll be the person that they contact. If Bryson's page says, and I don't mean to say Bryson's name, but if
It's all
someone's
good.
page lists, you can list your family members. A lot of people do that. I'm not, but people will list on there who their family members are. Facebook will be contacting those people, or they'll be contacting your church. If your page says you go to so and so's church and you checking in every week, yeah. So Facebook, shout out for doing that right. They have a way. They have a way of getting in touch with the people who you are closest to, or who that person is closest to, so they can alert
Hmm.
them that something's wrong and they need to check on whoever it is that was posting whatever they post. I have been contacted regularly by people I don't know, um, or been asked to contact people I didn't know because somebody's post said something that sounded like suicide, and somebody will just drop my name in the comments. Now I see it. I don't know who that person is, but I'm gonna go with Messenger and I'm gonna hit that button. I'm gonna put a message up or send them a message and let them know the helpline 1-800-273-TALK. If you need to contact the suicide prevention, it's the crisis hotline. 1-800-273-TALK. And I'll type it in the comments or somebody else can type it in the comments. There's also a text line, 741-741. You can text anything. And both of these platforms are confidential and available 24/7. Somebody will always reach back out to you. So those are two resources, as well as the Facebook panic button. So that's something you can do. I'm rocking my Out of the Darkness
Yeah.
community walk shirt today. I am a field advocate for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. It's actually the first place I started. I'm rocking my beads, as they give us beads every time. I got a bag of beads. Blue is for supporting suicide prevention. Teal is for supporting someone who is either struggling with suicide or has attempted. Purple is for loss of a relative or friend. I got started on this journey because I lost a friend in high school. I'm not gonna tell you what year that is. That ain't none of your business. But
But
I
she
lost.
already told y'all she was in the age group of 35 to 44. So if you was paying
Okay,
attention,
well,
you can kind of do the math.
don't they if they missed it, they missed it. But I lost a friend to
Hit the
suicide in high
rewind button.
school. I lost a friend to suicide in high school,
Hmm.
and I went to an event in 2014, um, and I didn't know that it was a fashion show, and I was there for an audition for a casting call. I didn't know that the organization was their mission was suicide prevention. And unlike any other audition I've ever been to, they interviewed me, not about my modeling experience, but they wanted to know what my experience was with suicide prevention or mental illness. And that was the first time I told that story to a stranger about losing
Right.
my friend in high school. And I've been telling that story ever since. It's been 6 years now. Been telling that story ever since. But that's how I got started. So my purple is because I lost a friend to suicide. Um, I am blessed to have not lost any more. I have not lost any more, but I know many people who have. And I've done over 100 interventions. At this point, it's probably been over 200. But I've also walked some people through interventions. Because
Yeah.
if someone is struggling and they're a friend of yours, they don't want to talk to me. They don't know me. But what I can do is walk you through an intervention so you can help save your friend.
And you did that for me. I don't know if you remember that because I know you deal with so many. And as much as we work together, when I saw that moment come across on Facebook, I was like, okay. I said, so this is what we've been talking about on all these interviews, on
It's
all
your
these
moment.
shows.
Here's
Right.
your
I
moment.
was like, but what did I do? Inbox Angel. I said, friend. Um, I said, so I got a friend who's on Facebook right now, and she just doesn't sound like herself. So I gave her a bunch of descriptions of what just sounded off to me. And when I tell you, she walked me through it. And at the end of that, she was like, do you feel okay about her? And I was like, no. And she was like, go on Messenger, find this particular button that she just described, and hit that button. And I did that, as I was, texting my other friend, just kind of, not being overbearing, but just trying to be concerned. And, it helped. It worked. Some other folks reached out to her, and she was kind of none the wiser
Hmm.
why it went about, how it went about, how it just kind of came together, and that uplifted her spirits, and it was right on time. And I've never seen her in a place to where she's talked like that before, so it really, really concerned me. But I mean, Angel came through like a champ, like the professional that she is, and she was like, look, and she walked me through it because it makes you nervous, even though it's not you directly. It makes you
Absolutely.
nervous because the last thing you want to read after you see something like that, God forbid, is something even worse about that person. So she talked me off the ledge, so I could kind of help talk my friend off the ledge, and then reach out to the proper channels in order to help address her needs and concerns. So
Hmm.
if you guys can do it, if don't be too proud, don't think you're doing too much. um you know do it because you care, do it because you want somebody to do it for you, or for somebody that you love. I was reading this other article, friend, and the numbers are baffling. And I'm just talking about right here in our Chicago community. It says midway through 2020, Cook County is seeing an alarming rise in the number of suicides among Black residents. The
Hmm.
number of deaths has already matched the total for all last year. Now, this report is
I'm
actually from
surprised.
July.
I'm surprised that that report even got out this early.
Listen, and this is from July, and in July it had already surpassed the number of 2019. It's September now, so you can imagine what we've
Yeah.
missed. What
And
has
had
not been reported.
they broken down those numbers, what you would see is that African American males would have the highest numbers.
Mhm.
They would have the highest numbers. It's always our men who have their
Mhm.
highest numbers. For women, not specifically black women, but for women, females, ladies, girls, we will always have the highest attempt numbers,
Mhm.
but black men and men in general, they will have the highest numbers of actual suicides. They tend to go through with this. And what a lot of people don't understand, and we don't like to talk about death. We don't like to talk about illness. I get all of that. But suicide is the one death that is 100% preventable. It's always
Yeah.
something that someone can do. And I love that you titled this the lifeline because that's what we are. We are all a lifeline. We are all able to
What's up,
save
A
a life.
Houston?
We're all
Mhm.
able to save a life.
Mhm.
We are all qualified. You do not have to be a professional, but we are all able to do something and save a life.
Mhm.
And really knowing the signs is that's it. If you know the signs and you know what to look for, You can absolutely do this work. You don't have to be certified. You don't have to have no license. You ain't got to be in the mental health profession. You can do this.
The you said the highest rate was for black men ages what?
I didn't. But
You
just
didn't.
in general, if you're talking about the African American rate, it would
Okay.
always be the men. The men would always have the higher rate than the women.
The
Higher
median
than women
age
or youth.
the
The
median
median
age of
age would
people
likely be that 35 to 44 age group for
and
black men.
what they have recorded right now is the median age of people who died was 36. That's what data shows. The youngest victim so far, this is just from this year,
Hmm.
um, is only 9 years old. So,
And I've seen it as young as 5.
right, and again, this is just what, like you
Right.
said,
That's
slipped
just
through
this
the
year.
cracks. This is
Seen it
what
as
slipped
young
through the
as 5.
cracks. Um,
And a lot of people don't even talk about our veterans or our seniors, but they have
mhm,
particularly high suicide rates. Anyone
mhm.
who served and our seniors, especially those that are in facilities.
True, babe.
We don't
Hmm.
talk, nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to talk about what's really going on.
And right, like I remember you addressing that before, how high the death rate is, the suicide rate is in our senior living communities and homes and nursing homes and things of that nature. Um, because even though they may have that round the clock service,
Mhm.
it's not the round the clock service that necessarily treats their mental health or their emotions.
Right. It's not a familiar connection. It's not
Hmm.
family, it's not friends, it's not loved ones. Those are people that are paid to do that work.
Right.
That's a different type of support. And it goes back to, you talk about hopelessness. If you
Hmm.
have a senior in a facility today, you can't go and visit. I know quite a few people who lost their grandparents, great grandparents, uncles, aunts who were in the facility during the pandemic that they couldn't visit. They're talking to them through the window. They can't have human contact. They can't reach out and touch people and hug people and love on their. Oh,
It's real.
I
It's
I
really
am
real.
I am not looking forward to the numbers at the end of the year. I'll say that. I'm not looking forward to the numbers. But it's a
It
very
is
real reality. And this
absolutely,
pandemic has affected everybody.
absolutely, absolutely. And to address what you're saying about folks that can't go see their loved ones, obviously because of the pandemic. I have an aunt who is she suffered a stroke earlier this year during the pandemic. You know,
Mm,
uh, and my uncle, she and my uncle have been married like 60 years, like no lie.
mhm.
Um, and I was talking to my uncle, and I was really checking on him because, like I said, they've been married 60 years. They got kids, grandkids, great grandkids. Um, and just listening to him, and he said, "Baby, I have to go see your auntie through a window." And he said, "Thank God she just has happened to have a room that had a window. Other
Oh,
than that," he said, "they weren't letting people in at all." He said, "So the nurse was nice enough to start a pattern, and he would call when he would want to come, and the nurse would give my aunt the phone or put her on speakerphone. And she has limited vocabulary right now, but my uncle would be able to pull his chair up, and she could see him, and they could
oh my
communicate the
goodness.
best way that they could through the window. You know, true story. And he was just allowed access maybe like a month ago, and she's been in this nursing home, I want to say, for a good 4, 5, 6 months.
Mm,
So
I
your
can't even
your
imagine.
your whole person for 60 years that now you're disconnected from, not only for medical reasons, but because of an entire pandemic. It's a whole trip. It's a
It
whole
is.
trip.
And a lot of people did that for anyone in their family that had any kind of health issues or were just seniors in general. My mom was a senior. Um, she doesn't have any major health issues, but she wasn't trying to hear that. She was coming to check on me.
You know what?
Coming to
Because your
check on me
mama,
once a
your
week.
mama is gonna outlive all of us, though.
I
Your
listen.
mama is a powerhouse.
I'm like, Mama, stay home. She like, no. What you need? You need something from the store. She wasn't playing. I'm like, you are
Yeah.
a senior. You are compromised. She wasn't trying. She wasn't trying to hear that. She been here once a week. Period. Once a week. She didn't care. She come check on me. But for
Yeah. Mama ain't playing.
a lot of other parents, if they do have major health issues, they got masks on, they talking on the top of the porch, they keeping that 6 feet. I can't imagine not being able to hug my mama. And we ain't real big
Subby.
touchy feely, but I can't imagine. I can't imagine,
Hmm.
not being able to be in contact with your people, and wearing these masks, good grief, that does something to you anyway. Because you walking
Hmm.
around, you walk, and it really just gave me more reason to keep my people box uh, away from folks because I'm already like, stay out of my space anyway. Now you just giving me a reason to put this mask on and look at you crazy, like you got something. You looking at
Right.
me
Like
like
I,
I got
like
something.
I knew you. I knew you was nasty. I knew it. Now you gotta wear this mask and stay away from me. I knew you was nasty anyway.
6 feet, please back up. But
Right.
now
Make it eight. Make it
and
eight.
I'm being funny, but we're all looking at each other now as if you got something. That does something to you. When you standing next to somebody and they move over. You remember the stinky kid in school? You kind of feel like, whoop, why is she moving away? Because you wasn't 6 feet. It does something to you, even if it's necessary. Who is this with this mask on on Instagram?
My girl, Bay Houston.
I just look down inside the mask. But it does something to you mentally when people are backing away from you and moving away from you. And for me, I was doing that all the time because you can't be in my energy. I need you to move back. But now it feels different when someone does that to you, as if you're sick, as if you got COVID, and you don't
Automatically. Automatically.
automatically, but you're walking around with this man Leanne. Here come Leanne with this mask. Look at him. But it does something to you. And I think a lot of people were really feeling the weight of not being able to touch and not being able to connect, but even more so feeling like something's wrong with them.
Hmm.
I'm defective. Somehow I'm defective now because you got to move away from me. You can't hug me. You can't touch me because I might be sick. And you've been at home since March.
Especially when you're already a person that might have mental health, concerns. And then you have those the closest to you, or maybe those that you're used to, who have to withdraw from you, for these obvious reasons due to the pandemic. That's
Mm-hmm.
a whole flustercluck, a whole flustercluck.
Did you just make that
Um,
word?
you can use it though.
I
You
think
can use it.
it's Leandra.
All of y'all can use it.
Do you
All you guys
approve of
can use it.
Luster Club?
Write it down. Write it down. And
But you are so right. Added stress. Thank you. That's added stress. Added stress to an already terrifying situation.
hmm
I remember being in the back of a Uber and I had to cough. And I just had to cough and clear my throat. I was so hesitant about coughing because I knew the eyes were gonna look in the mirror and the window was gonna go down. And I was holding this coffee in for like 10 minutes until I couldn't. And then it was now it's worse than it would have been. And of
Right,
course,
right, right.
driver looking up, you okay? I'm okay. Just had to clear my throat. I'm not sick. We so defensive now. You can't even clean your throat in public. Don't sneeze. Lord, do not. People just looking at you like something is wrong. Something is wrong with you. And I know
Hmm.
my coworkers, when I was teaching summer camp this summer, anytime my coworkers would cough or sneeze, all you heard, mm-mm, mm-mm, go on home, take that home. It's only funny when it's your people doing it, but when
Yeah,
somebody else
right, right,
move
right,
away,
right, right,
what you jumping for? Ain't nothing wrong. I've
right,
been coughing all my life.
right,
This ain't
right.
no different cough, but now everything is suspect. You suspect.
Hmm. Everything
You
is suspect.
suspect.
And for people who deal with allergies on a regular basis, like myself, yo, the struggle
And
is
that
real.
look at this. The answer.
I like the mask. People look better.
I can't stand you.
You know what?
Listen, I am a professional at doing makeup from the top up. Cause that's all that's all you can wear. That's all I could wear while I was at work this summer. Baby, from here up, glamorous. Absolutely. I ain't never had to do a half a face of makeup until July, August.
Right,
It is perfected.
right.
But now
Um,
you don't know who's smiling or not. You don't know who's smiling. You don't know who's frowning unless you're really looking in their eyes. You don't know what kind of expression people are giving. Like I said, everybody looks suspicious. Everybody
right. And
looks suspicious.
you're not even getting close enough really to be able to look them in the eyes.
No, not at all.
You know.
Not at
Um,
all.
right. Bay says the mask lets you know exactly who you're dealing with. It's
There
all
you
in the
go.
eyes.
There you
You
go.
know,
You gotta look
the mask almost reveals the mask, right? There's so much,
right.
so much.
Wait. Say that again. You say what? The mask reveals the
The
man.
mask. Yes, ma'am.
Man, man. Hmm.
The mask
Hmm.
reveals the mask.
I
Listen,
like that. The
you can use it
mask
to go and use it again.
reveals
Y'all
the
use
man.
it. And I'm just, I ain't talking about what I've heard.
She
I'm talking
dropping
about
nuggets.
what I've,
Look, she dropping nuggets today. She say the
I'm talking
mask
about what I've experienced.
reveals the mask. I had to talk. See, there go the
Let me, let
mask
me, let, let me
reveals
write it down.
the mask. You got me looking at two cameras. It ain't no way.
You gotta be cross-eyed a little bit.
Come on,
You gotta be.
Leandra. Let me put that on right there. Put that on the screen. Mask.
Lee got it. Bay got it. These two always come through. These two
And I'm
always
a,
come
and
through.
I'm gonna use that quote to take it back to our topic. The
Mhm.
mask, revealing the mask. We
Mhm.
talking about suicide prevention.
Mhm.
Everybody doesn't let you know that they're struggling. Everybody's not vocal about it. These
Mhm.
are some things you have to look for. You have to watch for. And we were talking. I touched briefly about signs earlier, and talking
Mhm.
about what people need to look for. I'm gonna give you some.
Mhm.
Um, the mask reveals the mask. I'm still on that. I'm still on that. People who are always high energy, always on 10, always busy. Um, those are people to watch. Um, it is likely that they crash at some point. And when I think about real high energy people now that I've been working in mental illness, I have to think about people who are um, bipolar. Um,
Mhm.
it's another term. It's another term for manic bipolarism. I might be saying it backwards, but people who are manic, they're either very high or very low. Those are some people to watch. People that are always low, always sad, always depressed. I remember an article or a comic or a meme or something. It was like dissecting all the Winnie the Pooh characters and what
Mhm.
their mental illness was. Eeyore was a manic depressive. You think
Mhm.
about you thinking about Eeyore. unbothered or always bothered. I mean, had no emotion, always low. Um, Negative Nancy, is that what they call? I'm trying to
Yeah.
think of what these terms are. Negative Debbie Downer. You know, they always looking at the worst case scenario. People that are
Right.
always low. Um, this is a tricky one. If you know people and they start eating a lot or eating a lot less, changes in eating habits. You know, they didn't used to eat all the time, now they're eating all the time, or they used to eat all the time and now they're not eating nothing. Change in the eating habits is another one. Same with sleep. You know, they're either sleeping a lot now or they're never sleeping. They up all hours of the night. Now Facebook tells us who's up all night. If I get up at 7
Hmm.
in the morning and you were posting 2 hours ago and 5 hours ago and 8 hours ago, when did you go to bed? You know, people are just awake. You know, that means you're not sleeping consistently 5, 6 hours. You know, we need at least six. We need at least six, you
Yeah.
know, just really to function. So sleeping all the time or not sleeping, eating all the time or not eating. So those are some good ones. Changes in hygiene. Sometimes that's very noticeable. Sometimes it's just
Yeah.
clothing. You know, if you got a friend who's always dressing. If you go into an event, you know they gonna be fly to the heels. I don't know if the young
Right.
folks say that.
Right.
I'm
Right. Dressed to the nines.
dressed to the nine, fly to the heels, dressed to the
Yeah.
nine. Use
Yeah.
that. But all of a sudden they walking in and whatever. You know, they got their work clothes on all the time. They got on sweats all the time. They got on some stuff that look like it ain't been ironed ever. And you know that they always dressed really nice. They always kept up their appearance. They always had a haircut. Hair was always laid. Nails were always done. And now it's not happening.
Hmm.
You know, those are noticeable things if these are people that you hang out with all the time. So not just
Hmm.
hygiene, that could be noticeable if they don't smell all that great. You know, if you got a friend that talks a lot and all of a sudden they breath is doing something they wasn't doing before, are they brushing their teeth? Are you taking care of yourself? Is your face
Right.
clean? You know, your
Right.
clothes look wrinkled. Are you taking a shower? Have you been sleeping? Are you eating? Those are some questions that you might want to ask. Changes in behavior. Um, people that were always happy and now they sad. People that are always sad and now all of a sudden, you know, they got a lot of energy. But also if they are aggressive, overly aggressive, easily agitated, the smallest thing could set them off.
Hmm.
You don't feel comfortable talking to them about what you see or changes that you've noticed. Um, People that are starting to give things away. This is another one. If they're giving away prized possessions, my grandmother gave me this. I want you to have it. Why you giving it to me?
Right.
I'm your friend, but I know you got some other people in your family. They're giving you art off the wall. You go to their house. Oh, this is a really nice picture. You want it? You want it? You can have it. Unless they're moving, unless they're moving, or selling things because they need some income. If they're giving away possessions that are valuable or mean something to them, or were really big purchases, um, they're clearing the way. They're trying to get rid of stuff so that they won't have anything to leave behind, or that's their way of saying goodbye
Hmm.
by giving you stuff. Or they want to take you out and have a great weekend. We're gonna spend the weekend in Vegas. They're gonna pay for everything, and they're gonna they're telling you how great of a friend you've been, how much they appreciate you. That's sound like um it would be a nice gesture, but if it's out of their character, and all of a
Hmm.
sudden they're just, doting on you with all of these nice words and
Let me cut
compliments.
you off. Let me cut you real quick. Instagram's gonna cut off. You guys rejoin us after an hour. They cut off. They're about to cut off right now. Rejoin us in a second.
There you go. You were quick with it.
Keep going, friend.
Yeah, but those are definitely some things to look for. And those are probably the biggest things that you'll notice. Those are the biggest things that you'll notice.
We are back, um, having a one-on-one lifeline chat with Angel Simmons. Instagram, Instagram will cut you off after an hour, but sometimes these conversations get so intense. So, Angel, if you can send me
I'm back.
hop back onto
I'm
Instagram and
on.
send me another request. I see you, um, and we'll jump right back into it. That hour went by so quick. The hour went
It
by.
did.
It went by so quick, and usually I'm a stickler for time. But the conversation, is so real. It's so real, and then the evident points that you were highlighting. We lost track of time, but we're back. Angel Simmons. She's everything under the sun. Loss and grief coach, author, friend, uh, creator, entrepreneur. Did I say author? Because she does have a
Yes.
couple of books out. You guys can go to
Oh,
angelsimmons.com and
these
check them out.
books,
What books?
these
What
right
are
here.
those? What are those?
These books right here.
Yeah, those books right there. Love's Great Design, which is also her handle on Instagram if you'd like to follow her. Love's Great Design,
Yes.
and then her newest release is called Target of Love. If you want to stay connected with her and her foundation, The Message Inc. Make sure you follow The Message Inc. On
You
IG
always,
and on
you always
Facebook.
upgrading me. I done went from founder, now I got a foundation.
Look,
You speaking
to
some stuff.
me,
What you
to it's all that to me. It's all that to me because I think sometimes we often don't understand or grasp what we're really doing for folks. So I see it as a foundation, as an organization, um, because the stuff that you put out there, the energy and the encouragement and the notices and the highlights that you put out there, people see that. People see that, and if only one or two people see that, you're making a difference, and that's what I love being a part of when it comes to working with you, watching you make that difference.
I
So
tell you, I was sick in June when we couldn't do V3 in June. Oh my
I
goodness.
know.
I was sick. I planned them out for the whole year. So I already
Yeah,
had
you
my
do.
lineup for February, June, October. I had had everything lined up. Bags had been made. I was already stuffing
She
bags
always
and
got some bags, boy. She got
ordered
some bags. They had
materials.
good treats too.
Hey, Herbert's back. Thanks for coming back,
Hey.
Herbert. But yeah,
Mhm.
I was a little sick when we couldn't do that in June. And even now, thinking about October, it's like we would be promoting for
Right now.
for the October show, and I don't think it's the responsible thing to do to hold a live event when
Yeah.
the numbers have not decreased enough for nobody's liking. So I wouldn't. We probably won't be looking at a V3, another versus Vibes and Visions until 2021. Might be February, might be June. It depends on what happens during the pandemic. But I don't feel responsible as a producer, as a host, as an advocate,
I
bringing
left.
people
You
together
see, I
like
left all of those. I left all of those descriptions out. When I say she's the queen of everything,
I'm just saying, I don't feel that that would be really responsible to do that just because, it's like I will find another way to spread awareness, but I have really felt like, since the pandemic and not being able to host events and not being able to do shows or even fashion shows, even working with, other organizations that I was working with, um, that maybe some people are getting lost
Oh
because
yeah.
we're not
Oh
we're
yeah.
not spreading that awareness. Maybe they're missing something that they would have gotten, had they come to a show or come to an event, gone somewhere. I really was feeling like um, I'm not doing something I should be doing. So I was glad that, we were able to do that this week. Because this week, today, last year, we were at New York Fashion Week on World Suicide Prevention Day, spreading awareness about suicide. And all those
I
memories have been coming
remember.
up this week. And it's like, oh, we were working, So this is the working. Now it's virtual, you know. We were able to do my last party. We were able to do our virtual stage production. We were It was a Zoom production, uh, which is usually a live production. So we were able to do that in May. I think we did it twice in May. Um, so that was a blessing. So we were still able to touch some people, and that's Michelle Monet's production through the Reach
Genius.
Project. My last party. It is a suicide awareness production. It is, I believe, it's now ten different stories of people who have been affected and infected by suicide. So we were able to do that since the pandemic, but we haven't done much else. Haven't done much else. But
And
that was a milestone, being able to
and
bring that to the virtual world.
and this is what we have to utilize our resources. This is what our resource is right now.
Mhm.
It's it's allowed the creatives who embrace it to become a lot more creative, and this is what we have to do. This is our, I'll say, our major resource in staying connected, with each other. And that's why we felt that it was a priority to, make sure that we came on here, addressed this, opened up this lifeline, to talk about it. Because again, as we addressed in the first hour, it's such a stigma still in our communities. The numbers are ridiculous. And right now, the number for 2020, based off July statistics, is greater than the entire number of 2019 for suicides in the Black community. So it was a big deal for Angel and I to link up, to make sure that we talked about this, and we always seem to stay in sync. Especially around this time, to see
Yeah, that
what's
was
up.
interesting. I told you the morning you text me. The more she texted me, 11 something in the morning, was like, friend, what are we doing for Suicide Prevention Month? And I was sitting there with my phone in my hand, like, I got to do something for Suicide Prevention Month. I was like, call me,
Right,
because your
right, right,
timing is
right,
impeccable. Your timing is
right.
impeccable. I was literally holding my phone and going through posts and trying to figure out what I was going to do for September. Whew.
And I'm glad it worked out. And if you can, please go back and just quickly highlight some of the the determinations, or some of the signs, I guess, that we should look for, because I know we got cut off. So if you can go back and highlight again the ones that you already spoke of, and then if you need to complete that list, go ahead and do so.
Yeah, well, some of the things I had mentioned already were keeping an eye on people who were very high energy,
Hmm.
always busy,
Hmm.
um, and always doing some things. Um, their hands in a lot of pots, spinning a lot of plates. Is that what they call it? Typically, they're gonna crash,
Hmm.
and when they come down, it's usually a very depressive state. It reminds me of people who deal with bipolar illness who are manic, 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 because they're either very, very high or they're very, very low. It's nothing in between. They're
Hmm.
here or they're there.
Hmm.
Um, People who don't sleep or sleep a lot, and this might be changes in what's normal, or it could just be what they've always done because they've always dealt with this, dealt with that problem.
Mhm.
Sleeping all the time or not sleeping at all, or sleeping only a couple of hours at a time. And you see them on Facebook all the time. You see them on Instagram all the time. So every 2 hours they're awake. You wake up in the morning and they got 5 posts up. They never go to bed. That's the issue. People that their eating habits have changed. They're either eating all the time or they're not eating anything. And typically it could be, that they gained a lot of weight or they lost a lot of weight in a very short amount of time. So eating, sleeping. Um, we talked about aggressiveness, changes in behavior. People that are now aggressive, always ready to pop. They'll snap at any given moment. Any little thing will set them off.
Mhm.
Temper. Their temper is very high, very high. Um, Changes in hygiene or appearance. Um, if you notice people who they always dress really nicely, um, now they're not taking so much care of their appearance. They're putting on anything. They're not ironing their clothes. They used to get a haircut all the time. Always had their hair done, nails done. Now they're not taking care of their appearance or their hygiene. You can actually smell them. Not brushing their teeth. Not just that's not them. If you all would were to go out to an event, that they would always be laid. Everything would be laid, and now they're showing up looking like they just got up out the bed because they probably did. Just got up out
Right.
the bed, just making an
Right.
appearance. Real.
Right.
Um, Something we hadn't got to, and I don't know if I left anything off, but we had not gotten to substance abuse. Substance abuse and depression are the top two causes, top two contributing factors to suicide. People that are using drugs and alcohol, people that suffer from depression. So anybody who's doing those things or dealing with that illness is at a higher risk.
I know you mentioned giving away uh
Giving away
personal
possessions,
things.
giving away possessions, personal things. People that are saying goodbye. People that want to take you out and spend a great deal of time with you or a weekend with you, or they're saying goodbye. They're attempting to say goodbye. They're hoping that you'll notice. And a
Yeah.
lot. And I mentioned earlier that a lot of people are not really vocal about their intentions of taking their life, but their behavior will be obvious. And a lot of the behavior will be those changes.
Mhm.
So paying attention, people that are dealing with hopelessness. We talked about hopelessness earlier. What would contribute to that? Loss of a job, loss of income, um, natural disaster. They were in the fire. They were in a hurricane. They lost their home. They lost their possessions. They lost custody of their children. Loss of a relationship, a divorce, a breakup, loss of a loved one. Somebody died. They're dealing with grief and bereavement. These
Decline
are
in
people to
physical
watch.
health or something like that. Yeah.
Loss of health,
Yeah.
any kind of loss
Mhm.
in general. But these are things that would contribute to that feeling of hopelessness, and hopelessness would be the number one contributing factor.
Trauma. Yeah. Um. So deep. So deep.
And it's a lot, and sometimes
It's
it
so
feels
much.
really heavy. But if you think right now to a friend or a family member or somebody, you can name somebody in your head who has either struggled with depression, struggled with mental illness, struggled with grief or loss, struggled with alcohol or drugs. You can name somebody. I would go so far as to say you can name multiple people. Those are people that you need to watch out for. And
Mhm.
really watching out for means checking in on them and letting them know that you notice. And
Knowing those
people who
people,
are,
knowing your people, knowing your personnel, as we say, in the coaching aspect, in the sports
hmm
coaching aspect, know your personnel. You know, check. Recognizing your people, what they do, what they don't do. Knowing some of their habits.
yeah,
If I don't see Angel posts for a while, for a couple of days on Facebook, what you doing? Why I ain't seen no food?
right,
Why you ain't sharing nobody's posts, because she's one of the
see,
greatest supporters, so she'll share everybody and their mama's posts about what they're doing,
thank
what
you,
you're doing,
and that, thank
um, and
that's
she'll be
also,
like, man,
and that's a very good sign that you pointed out that I didn't. When you talk about changes in behaviors, that's a good one, because for
hmm
right now, all we have is social media. We're in a pandemic. So the only thing you got to go by is the friends that you see online. If I don't see Bryson posting on Instagram, because she ain't on Facebook that much, but if she ain't posting nothing on Instagram, I know I need to check up with her. Leanne's, I don't know if he's still on here. If he ain't posting no underwear pictures or no book tour flyers or no coaching and speaking uh opportunity flyers or nothing, I know I need to check. If
know
you
your
got
people's
those,
habits.
sometimes I have to take a break, and me taking the break is preserving my energy because I've been doing too much. I
Yeah,
know how to sit down now. So I don't post every day like I did. That kind of changed this year because you know what? I don't have to.
same,
It's social
same,
media. It's not
same.
my real life. I don't have to post every day. I'm not getting paid to post.
hmm
It might contribute to my, the overall big picture.
You got
if
some
I,
books?
if
Wait,
I
what are
post,
those?
what are those? 2 books you can purchase on angelsimmons.com. Love's Great Design. Uh, Uncovering the Power and Purpose of Human Relationship. This is a weekly devotional, and the newest release, and I mean brand new, like the box arrived yesterday. Target of
Yes,
Love, Surviving
yes.
Narcissistic Abuse. But you can go on my website and you can purchase that. Matter of fact, if you purchase both of them tonight,
Come on.
it comes with a free gift. Comes with a free gift, a beautiful necklace with the lava stones for you to put your essential oils and get your calm on. Comes with a
hmm
beautiful necklace if you purchase both books tonight. Uh,
Tonight.
yeah, 2 nights.
So you
Two
mean
nights.
by
If you
like
got it,
12 a.m. You because you got to specify with folks.
yes. If you purchase both books by midnight, and send me a message and tell me Bryson sent me,
Central
you'll get.
Standard Time.
Yeah,
Because
Leanne,
you
Central
right,
Chicago time.
right.
You will get, so you got, a little less than 4 more hours, but you'll get the free gift that comes with it if you purchase both books. One is a weekly devotional, very inspirational scripture, full of scripture. Also a section for you to take notes. You got an action step. You got something to do every week. The other one is about surviving narcissistic abuse. Easy read. If it doesn't apply to you, it applies to somebody you know. Give it away. Give it away if it don't apply to you. Read it first, then give it away because you might change your mind after you read it. Um, so that's what I'm working on. So you can go to angelsimmons.com and get those. But yeah, I don't post every day no more. And I had to get to the point where I'm okay with not being on all the time. This
Right.
this this time is giving us a breather. And when you get a chance to sit and reflect and think about why are we doing the things that we're doing, it's a different answer. It's a different answer
hmm
now. So
Facts. Facts. And you're like, I pause a lot because you know these interviews for me are not just, it's not just business, it's not just work, it's not just a gig. They mean something to me, and there's always something, that folks like you say that makes me, like, oh damn. Say amen, lights. So, it definitely, I definitely have to take a minute to process for my own self, for my
Mm,
own self. And to thine own self be true, you have to. There is so much more. We could go on with this conversation all night. We could go on with this conversation for days.
mm.
Because the truth about the suicide rates as a whole and in our community is ridiculous. The point of this whole conversation was to be a lifeline to everybody who hears this video, who sees this video, um, to know, for one, that it's okay to not be okay, but also to know that there's help out there for you. And for those who may be, you know, a little more stronger than others, be that lifeline. To those who may be suffering a little more than others, know that you have a lifeline. And if you don't feel like that you can reach out to anyone else, know that you can reach out 100% for sure. Know that you can reach out to Angel Simmons. Know that you can reach out to myself. Your conversations will be confidential unless
Always.
there's an immediate need to contact authorities for your safety or for the people who surround you. Okay.
Let me pause you right there so I can eliminate this stigma. Um,
Okay.
if you contact the police regarding someone who is suicidal, they are not coming to put them in a straitjacket.
Right.
You can always contact, and I know it's real touchy to talk about the police right now, which is why I always say go through the suicide crisis line, text line if you need to do an intervention with somebody. But if someone is in immediate danger, they have told you they're taking their life, they're ending their life, they don't want to live anymore, and they gonna do it tonight. um, that is something that you need to be addressing immediately. Contact the police, let them know you want to do a wellness check on such and such. They seem to be suicidal. They've said these things, and that's what they're coming to do. If someone needs to go to the hospital for any reason, um, it is an evaluation. It is not, and I just lost the word. They're not forcing you to stay there. It's an evaluation to make sure that you get the help that you need. So I want to eliminate that stigma because a lot of people, have that concern. If you call the police, they're
Right.
gonna haul you away, put you in a straitjacket. No, that's not
They're
what
gonna
that is.
dope me up. They're gonna medicate me. They're
That's
gonna
not what they
strap me
is.
down.
That's not. Now,
No,
if
they're
you
gonna check
are
on your well-being.
right, if you're trying to harm yourself and other people, they might have to restrain you, but that's not what they're coming for. They're not coming to restrain you. They're coming to assist you, take you where you need to go. It is always in your best interest to be that person for your friend. If I can get to you faster than the police, I'm gonna do that. But if I'm in another state, obviously I cannot. If I'm in another city, obviously I cannot. If I can't reach your people, I'm gonna try to reach 911. And 911 is likely gonna send the fire department because that's who shows up first. Police don't ever get there before fire department. Fire department is gonna show up with an ambulance
What's up,
and a
DJ
medic
Cooley?
team that is going to be able to provide you with that evaluation. And if they need to take you to the hospital, they'll do that. They just want to make sure that you're not endangering yourself or anybody else. But I want to make sure
Sure.
people understand what happened.
Sure. Sure. I don't, like I said, we could talk about this for the next 3 days. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your service. As always, do you have any final words, any closing remarks? I definitely want you to drop the crisis hotline number again and any other,
Mhm.
final words or closing remarks that you may
Yep.
have that might, reach someone um, in any type of form or fashion.
Yeah, of course. I'll give you that line. It's 1-800-273-TALK. If somebody's listening and they can type it, great. 1-800-273-TALK. That is the
Oh, I might be
crisis
able to do that. Let me see.
helpline. Yeah, that is the crisis helpline. If someone is suicidal or someone in need of an intervention, or if you're with a friend who is looking for resources so that they can get help for themselves. 1-800-273-TALK. That is where you're going to go. Thank you. The text helpline, if someone that just needs to talk to somebody, they're trying to do it themselves, they don't want nobody to know, 741-741. That is the text crisis text helpline. 741-741. Thank you, Leanzer. 741-741 is the text crisis line. If they just want, they don't want to talk to someone in person, but they want to still have a conversation, they can do that. Both of these lines are 24/7. They are confidential. So those are those options. Again, if you see someone on Facebook who is reaching out for help or sounding like they're in a crisis, go to your messenger, hit that little information button, and you can answer those questions. Is someone in danger? Are they in danger of harming themselves or harming other people? It's going to ask you very specific questions. And Facebook and their algorithms have a way of reaching the people that they are connected to most often on Facebook. So that is another way that you can do that. My last words would be if you missed the warning signs, hit the replay, watch it when it's over, so you can, have mental notes of what those behavior changes and warning signs may be. Um, but just like the title of this chat, Lifeline, you understand that you are a lifeline. We are all lifelines. Suicide is everybody's business.
You don't have to have a degree
It's
to help
everybody's business.
somebody.
You don't have to be,
Hmm.
there's no qualification for you to save a life. You don't have to have a certification, a certificate, a license. You don't have to be a mental health professional, nothing. Only thing you have to do is give a damn. Do you give a damn? It don't have to be nobody you know. If you see somebody posting something, get in Messenger and hit that button. Reach out to somebody they know. But
Something
it
like
is 100%. Suicide is the only death that is 100% preventable if there are people that give a damn, that can get through to someone. Everybody can save a life. There's no qualification for that. So everybody that's listening, you are a lifeline. You are absolutely a lifeline. And it is everyone's business. That would be my last words.
you guys check out, Angel Simmons. Again, if you want to reach out, if you want to continue to follow her, you can stay connected with her at the Message Inc. That's on Facebook, that's on Instagram, that's on Twitter. The Message Inc. You can also go to angelsimmons.com and hit these.
AngelSimmons.com.
That's it. That's it.
Just
Ain't
like
it?
saying it. AngelSimmons.com. Yes, I just like saying it. I'm so excited.
Angelsimmons.com.
I had this website years ago, lost it, got it back. AngelSimmons.com because clearly it's just one me. And this book just arrived yesterday, so I'm very excited.
Just
Hold
arrived.
on. Just arrived yesterday. You can pick up Love's Great Design. Is a 52-week devotional. Um, Christian inspired, take you through a whole year. Don't matter when you start it, it starts the day you open it. You can pick up Target of Love,
Thank
Surviving
you.
Narcissistic Abuse. If you are not affected by narcissism, I would suggest you read this book and make sure, and then pass it along to somebody who is, because I guarantee you, you know somebody who is struggling with that. If you purchase both books, one and two. One and two. If you purchase both books by midnight tonight, it comes with a free gift.
Central Standard Time.
Central Chicago time. It comes it comes with a free gift if you purchase both books tonight. AngelSimmons.com. And all of my social media links are on AngelSimmons.com. So it will connect you to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Reverb Nation, WordPress. I think that's it.
You're asking the title of her books. I'm assuming that you're asking
Um,
Love's Great Design.
Love's Great Design, Unlocking the Power and Purpose of Human Relationship, Uncovering the Power and Purpose of Human Relationship, and Target of Love, Surviving Narcissistic Abuse, a journey
And
back
just
to love.
go to angelsimmons.com. That's probably a lot easier for people to remember.
You go, yes.
Angelsimmons.com. Go
Yes,
there, check it out. You can learn much more about
yes.
her, much
These books,
more about.
yes, and these books are both on Amazon. However, you get them from me because I got a house. I got a box in my house, so order on the website and get it from me, and it'll be autographed because it won't be autographed if you get it on Amazon. And I'll have still have a box of books in my house if you go to Amazon. So get them from me, angelsimmons.com. Hi, Leander. Yes, maybe. Leander trying to
I
be different.
can't. I can't see. I can't see his comments.
He said, "Give me my free gifts." Here, there's his
Oh,
comment.
there we go. Oh, that's a whole bunch of S's.
I know he's trying to get a free gift. But yes, if
That's a
you order
whole bunch of
you
S's.
order them both by midnight, it will come with a free gift. And this is a lovely
And
necklace that with the lava stones that you can put your essential oils on. And when people stress you out, you just take a little whiff and bring yourself back down. So yes, I couldn't wear mine and the headphones, so but it's a beautiful heart. I assembled them myself. They've all been touched
okay,
and prayed over as well as every book
okay,
and necklace and bookmark. So
okay.
that's that.
You guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Know the signs. Be aware. Stay aware. It's okay to not be okay, but know that there's a lifeline out there for you. We all are lifelines. Uh, no matter what qualifications we do or don't have, no matter what titles we do or don't have, we all are lifelines. And it's up to us. It's up to us to save each other. It's up to us
Um,
to support each other. It's up to us to love each other. We are already going through a whirlwind of 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 flusterclucks,
Emotions.
flusterclucks.
There's no
I
word.
had
I'm
I,
gonna
I had
say
to
that word. I'm
I
gonna
had
need
to
you to
think of my
spell
word again. Let me
it.
write.
I'm
Let me
gonna need
write
you to spell it. You got to type that out for me because I want to use it in a
flusterclucks.
sentence. I want to use it in a sentence. Thank you. Somebody said
So
congratulations, Mego Media. That's a
thank you.
cool name,
That is really cool.
Mego
And
Media.
and
That's
and
a
bless you
beautiful.
back. Bless you
Bless you.
back. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Check out Angel Simmons at Love's Great Design. Check her out at The Message Inc. Check me out at I almost forgot my own stuff. At the original Brysen. Check me out at thank you, Fran. Check me out at Sweet Spot Media on Instagram. That's SUITE Spot Media. You can always catch up with us on We Radio. Shout out to Dee Dee.
Sweet, sweet.
Ooh, right, ooh wee. Um, again, man, be that lifeline. Share love, live love, be love. And before we go, empowering you to create a more fulfilling life, connecting you to resources for growth and development, impacting your platform for effective change. This is the message. This is Angel Simmons.
That is the message.
Thank you so
And
much.
thank you to media guru Bryson Williams of Sweet Spot Media and
Sweet
We
spot.
Radio and 10 other companies. Thank you
Yes,
so much for
yes.
this chat on World Suicide Prevention Day and spreading awareness and caring about my mission. Always caring about my mission, always supporting
Paisley.
everything,
Hmm.
everything I do. Thank you so much. When you come pick up your book, it will come with a baked treat.
Oh, glove. Pop.
That's not for y'all, but it will come with a baked treat. And since she complained in public, we'll make sure that she gets something to chew on. Thank
Thanks.
you, Leanza, my bestie in Vegas, for tuning in. Check him out, leanzasockley.com, relationality specialist with 3 books for sale and a bunch of draws
And
and
a bunch of draws.
coaching services and underwear. Yes, he has Underneath by Czar. Check him out because he's been tuned in. So I got to shout out my bestie too.
Check out his new
But
book, Relationship Ready. He'll be on an
yes,
interview this Sunday uh,
again.
with my homeboy Chris Bass this
Oh,
Sunday at at 3 p.m. So check out the homeboy. All of my friends are famous. I'm so proud to be
All of
in the
my
circle of you guys, man.
listen. Get your books by midnight so you can get this free gift. AngelSimmons.com. Find me.
AngelSimmons.com.
Find me.
Find her. Find her. And we thank all of you guys for tuning in. This broadcast, we're also on StreamYard. Will this be
Facebook.
going? Where is this going to?
Instagram. This is if you were following on Facebook, it was live on Facebook, but it is going to my YouTube page, Love's Great Design. So it'll be up for replay. I don't know how long the live is up for replay. I think it stays up for quite some time. But catch it if you missed any signs, any information, any statistics, any help, any resources. Catch the replay, and I will. This will be uploaded to my YouTube page as well. You can follow me everywhere. Go to angelsimmons.com. You can click every icon to follow me everywhere. Never lose your
Fluster
hope.
clucks.
Fl- I'm trying to be
Fluster
serious.
clucks.
Never lose your hope. Fluster clucks.
Don't lose your hope.
Well, now we know how to spell it. All right.
We
I'm
out.
going to use that in a sentence before this week is over.
Okay, and you got
Probably,
yeah. That's
probably
tomorrow.
tomorrow at work because it's
Okay.
Friday and we don't give no fluster clucks after 6:30 tomorrow. Woo!
All right,
Love
y'all.
y'all.
Y'all be safe. Find you a lifeline. Be a lifeline. Share love, live love, be love. All those good things that we talk about. There is hope indeed. Thank you, Angel
Always
Simmons.
hope. There's always hope. Always hope.
Peace, y'all.
Peace out.